If you don't vote, then you're not exercising your right to choose. If you don't vote, if you have not selected, if you have not chosen a group, a particular individual, then you can't complain after the voting process has been completed.
Speak up.
Hi, I'm Javon Simpson and welcome back to Speak Up. Now, for today's topic, as you might have figured out already, we're talking about the right to choose, voting, if you will. There's so many things I want to say that we're going to try to keep this thing professional and try to keep it respectful, right? Let's say this. If you present yourself in a restaurant and you see 5 to 10 food items being presented on the menu and you don't feel like any one of those are fitting for you, and you would have chosen to turn right around and go down the road to buy something else from somewhere else, or you just decide to go to your yard, go boil some bush tea and drink and go to your bed, was that not you exercising your right to choose? Yeah man, it was. Because of this crazy notion, because of this crazy ideology, we find ourselves going in a cycle, in a circle, just spinning around like a gig. We get up, we don't see what we are going to vote for or why we should even vote for this individual, but we get up, and because in the name of voting or in the name of exercising one's right, we get up and we say, yo, I go vote, you know. Then one of the things I think about as well is that are we as people actually being, listen, I'll ask a question. I don't know. I just want to be honest. I just want us to be honest, right? Have you ever voted and then you were actually remorseful about voting for that particular individual or for that particular party or whatever it is? Let's be honest. You don't have to tell me who you vote for, whatever it is, but let's be honest with me. Have you ever voted and then you're just remorseful about the choice in which you actually made because you realize that what it is that the individual said they would be doing, they actually didn't do? That's number one question, right? And I feel like for some persons, right, I don't feel like them remorseful of the options in which they choose. I don't think some people see voting as serious as it is. I think some people just see it as going to the grocery shop and just you know, either you're gonna take up oranges or you're gonna take up ripe bananas or you're gonna take up apples, right? It's something simple, right? As a quint, it'll come out of your system type of thing, right? I feel like it's just a simple choice for some persons, and so they just do it in a simple way. For me personally, I don't know about anybody else, but if it is that I take up myself and vote for an individual, everything that individual does while they're in office, I feel responsible for it, believe it or not. And in my mind, in my psyche, I'm thinking that that's how we should think or feel at the very minimum as people. If it is that let's say I start a business, I'm gonna hire somebody to represent that business, and then later on I realize that person misrepresented that business, I'm feeling as though I have a part to play in that. So I'm feeling as though, yo, it's not just that person alone must get blamed, you know. I'm feeling that I should be blamed to some extent as well. So I don't know if I doubt it's me alone think that way there, but I really want to know. It's like me I try to do a local survey in a sense, like how you think about it or how you view it, because yo, voting a serious business, you know. You're giving an individual control over your, well, depending on which, yeah, if I vote, then in democracy. You're giving an individual authority over the very nation in which you are residing in. You have been residing in. You will be residing in for however long we have on this earth here. And for some persons, it's a simple thing. It's not simple. It's not simple at all. Which is why when I hear the views and the perspective of certain politicians, I look at them and I wonder, what go on here, so? What go on here, so? Because some of the things where come out, some of the things that proceed out of the mouths of these individuals make absolutely no sense. And then some of them have this thing where they want to be condescending to the rest of the persons that are out there listening to them, right? Because if you don't agree with them, of course they're going to be condescending towards you, right? And so they're being condescending towards other individuals, and you see other persons are like, yes, that's true, you know, true. And I'm like, what the truth there in this? What you talk about? Then you have some persons who have dedicated their lives. When we say dedicated their lives, I mean dedicated their lives to defending whatever nonsense has been decided upon by these individuals, and then try to make sense of it. Sometimes me say, oh, may God help us. May God help us, because how we view this world is crazy within itself. Yeah, trust me, it's crazy. It's crazy just to think about it. People, voting is not just to get up and just color your finger type of thing. It's not just to get up and say, yo, me did vote for that person. Voting is an action, a right of yours that requires a whole lot of responsibility, a whole lot of accountability. Because as I said before, whatever that individual that I have voted for goes into office and do, for the 4 years or however long they're in the office, whatever they go in there and do, I honestly feel as though I am responsible for that. I feel as though I am supposed to be held accountable for that in which they would have done. And so it is why when person said to me, say, yo, I'm not voting, I look upon them and say, I'm in my mind, I'm like, you know, sometimes you ask them why, because you want to, you know, get an understanding as to why it is that they don't vote, right? Or people don't vote, right? And when persons say, yo, them say an option out there, them say a viable option out there, then me agree with them. Me have to agree with them. Because if you don't see a viable option, then what in the world are you selecting? There's a select for selecting sake? That don't make no sense. And then for the 4 or how many other years the person is in power or in the office, you have to live with whatever it is that that individual does or chooses to do. Listen, I've been in the position where I've heard things that politicians say, and I've come to understand the position or to perhaps accept their position in a particular matter or particular thing. And it's like when I must say a trick me get trick or what? Sometimes I feel like a trick me get trick, you know, right? And you see them start off good, and you say, yeah man, the person you really do something good, and I really rate that person, I really respect that person, you know. And then in a no time, you see the person whole demeanor, whole persona, everything just changed about the individual. And I'm like, are the same person is? Are the same person is? When I say, yo, this a person really good and all these things. Listen, yo, I know, you know. I'm trying to be optimistic when it comes on to our society and whether or not it is that we will make true progress when it comes on to certain things that I see, and of course I'm feeling led to speak up about. But people, I think we need to take it as something, you know, more serious. It's not just you taking up things from a grocery list in a grocery store. It is you doing some serious business. It is you choosing persons to run your country in a sense, right? And quite often what is that these persons decide to do, they decide to do. Just take note of it. Whenever it is that you see a politician make up their mind and say them do something, especially when it is that they're in power or in the office that is running things at that appointed time, you normally see them change what them say them are gonna do. If them say them are gonna do it, them will do it, right? And if it means them have to go just spin the block and come back with the same idea, just a little bit different, them are gonna do that too. And then the crazy thing about it is that we as people are so divided that we don't see that we're being taken for granted. We don't see that we're being taken for idiots. We don't say people them take we for idiot, for fool people. And we just there, I do the do, I follow the follow, and I like the like. We just there, just regurgitate the madness. And we find ways to cuss, quarrel, fight over these things in our private spaces. You have persons that, whole friendships and whole families have been dismantled because they hold views that are opposing the other individual's views. It don't make no sense, it don't make no sense, me I tell you. We need to do something for change all this. It don't make no sense, not a sense, it don't make. And this video wouldn't be too long, because somebody I like that about politics, right? Just the very existence of it confuses me and quite often upsets me. This has been another episode with Javon Simpson on Speak Up. Much love, take care, God bless.